The creation of baseball, a home run. The origins of baseball have evolved over time. They were brought by immigrants who had their own bat and ball games in their countries. Even when our nation was literally taking form, there is many references to kids playing town ball, an American form of rounders whose cousin is cricket, Baseball Almanac. The most recent discovery of baseball's murky past is the Pittsfield Find. An attempt to give a date to our national pastime, historians found a statute prohibiting the playing of baseball. This statute prohibited the playing of baseball 200 yards away from a new courthouse in an attempt to protect its windows. Baseball Almanac. This discovery showed that the past discoveries of the origin of baseball were decades late. Baseball is our national pastime, but you might be surprised at how murky and unknown its origins are. Let's start with the creation of the rules of baseball. The first written rules were called the Knickerbocker Rules. Author Shane Riley Foster in 1845 for a New York ball club called the Knickerbockers. There were rules all along, but none of them were written or official, and it mattered about what field you played at depending on the rules. The rules were into effect at the Elysian fields that the Knickerbockers called their home. The Knickerbockers were the first team to call a field their home field, and the Elysian fields was the first field to charge admission to watch games. These rules were into effect until 1903. With these rules in effect, they played with a much softer ball, and one of the rules were to put out a batter, also known as striking out a batter. You could peg them. So next time you play kickball, those rules are still into effect, and think about the origin of baseball. Now the rules are just the same rules as the rules made in 1903 by Shane Riley, but just a little more standardized. The fetus called baseball is finally ready to be born. The formation of the American League debuted in 1900, where catchers actually had to use mitts, and it was a rule for a pitcher to have his back foot against the rubber. The bases actually had a standard length, and the length between the pitcher's mound and home plate were standardized to 60.5 feet. The first ballpark to charge admission with 20,000 people was called the Polo Ground Park, making the Elysian Field obsolete. From here to 1920, baseball hadn't become the sport of what is now. Let's get to the fun stuff. With the game now watched by thousands of people and superstars like Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, and others in the industry, this is not just a sport, it's an industry. With managers making thousands of dollars just from having teams, the first World Series was on its way. The next time you are at your house watching a good old game of baseball, remember that because of some kids in a town playing town ball is the reason that you're watching this, and that just anything can happen. Bye.